Hi guys, Charlie here. So welcome to this video where we are looking at foam rolling, so myofascial release, and we're going to use the foam roller mainly, but we're going to be looking at the upper legs, okay? So upper legs above the knee, below the hip, so you've got your quadriceps, okay, so there's 4 big muscles in there. We're going to do around the side of the leg as well. We're also going to do the hamstrings, okay? So hamstrings, for me personally, on the foam roller, I don't really get anything from them, don't really feel any benefit. So I also have a cricket ball. If you've got a tennis ball, that will work. There is another exercise you can do as well with a barbell or a broomstick, just some sort of pole that you can lay on the floor. And I've also got this fancy thing here, which is a theracane, or theracane, sorry, no R in the second word, so theracane. And basically it's just made of plastic. There's different kinds, but you can see there's different little nodules for different things. So with this like curved section, you can lever it against muscles. So for example here, I can put it under my hamstring and lever just by literally pushing it away. Really simple. It's putting a lot of pressure up into my hamstring there, but I'll show you that in a little bit anyway. I didn't have one then, had to go and get one. But cricket ball you might have one lying around, maybe you've got a tennis ball, and foam roller you should probably have if you are a runner. So before we get going, remember there is a video on just general foam rolling, so the basics, so why and how, and a little bit of theory there. So if you haven't already, go and watch that one first and then come back to this video, okay? I also have done the lower leg, so you'll be able to see that one, and also there is the upper body section as well. So this is going to be, like I say, upper legs and around the hips. So we're going to include the glutes as well and around the side of the hip. So first what we're going to do is we'll always start with the more advanced, we'll always start with the easiest version and work up to a more advanced version if there is one, okay? So first of all, we're going to do straight up and down the front of the quads. I'll move just a little bit further so you'll be able to see in a moment, but straight up and down the front of the quads, okay? And then we're going to do slightly to the outside. So if you imagine this is your upper leg, okay? You've got straight down the front, yeah? And then what we're going to do is like 45 degree. So not a right angle, but 45 degree. We'll do down there. And then also 45 degree to the inside as well. So you've got like straight down the front, you've got slightly to the inside, slightly to the outside, okay? And then we're also going to do it 90 degrees on the outside as well. So I will run through all of them. So I'm not going to do every single exercise, for like 2-3 minutes each. I'm just going to run through them, give you the basics, give some teaching points so you can get going with them. If you want to work through this and do them as we go along, you might just need to pause it while you practice that movement and then, unpause, carry on, etc. So, like I say, just quickly the basics. Make sure you're rolling the muscle, not the joints, okay? So no bones, just the muscles. Second, you want to make sure the muscle you are rolling is relaxed. So like if you go for a massage and you're all tense, your physio, your massage therapist or whoever it is you see him, going to tell you just to relax a bit because they can't do a lot with a tight muscle. And we're not trying to heal injuries here, okay? We're not trying to diagnose any injuries. We're not trying to sort of fix something that's longer term, okay? So this will help to keep your muscles relaxed, work some tension out of them, like a sport massage might do. But it's not a complete replacement. If you've got a bad gait or if you've got some sort of movement issue, muscle damage from like a strain or a tear, then figure out what's caused that in the first place, okay? So just, foam rolling, I've had a lot of benefits from it, but if you are, say if you're running with your feet turned inwards like this, you're going to keep injuring yourself no matter how much foam rolling you do, okay? So foam rolling is only like part of the puzzle. So with that said, let's get started. So I'll just show you sort of first straight away basics, front of the quads, okay? So we are going to do both quads at the same time. So you put your foam roller on the floor, you're going to go into a plank position like so, with the foam roller underneath your quads. Okay, and all you're going to do, just really slowly, moving your body so you're rolling up towards the hips, okay, and then slowly back. So another little point with foam rolling, just remember to go slow with more pressure rather than fast with not much pressure, okay? So you're just whizzing up and down, not a lot's going to happen. You need to keep the pressure on and move slowly. So, straight up and down the front of the quads, okay? So my feet are just relaxed, pointing straight. So just like together, okay? I'll just spin sideways so you can see. And let me see if I go this way. So you see it's not the knees, it's not the hips, it's just the muscle in between. Okay, and if you just look how slowly I'm moving, yeah, just like this. So if you are new to foam rolling, if you've not done it before, you might feel like a discomfort. I wouldn't say pain, it's not like, you know, not pain as in someone's trying to cut your leg off, but just discomfort, like the pressure almost, if you like when you have a sport massage basically. So just work your way all the way up and down, okay, nice and slow. If you have got really long legs or something like that, you might need to do the quads in two sections. So you might need to do sort of from the middle towards the top of your knee in one, and then do the middle towards the top in a separate one, just you know, just if you've got really long legs perhaps. Okay. So you might find an area that feels more tight on one side than the other, okay? So if you do, pay attention to that, because you're going to need to do that a little bit more and figure out why that one is more tight than the other. Okay, so for me they're both pretty even. So what you can do to make this one, it's the same position if you like, but we're going to make it a bit more advanced. Okay, so like if you've seen the lower leg one, where we just stack the legs on top of each other, okay? So I'm now just rolling with all my weight over the one quad, okay? So this one is no longer on the roller, okay? I'm just stacking that leg on top, okay? So this does make a significant difference. If you're feeling some pain on the first one, don't go to this one just yet. But if you are looking for something a bit more advanced, this is the one for you. So I'm just using this arm here just to stabilise myself, and I'm just, you know, leaning myself on this arm here to move up and down. So obviously you're going to do both of those, okay? Both sides, left and right. My left and right, not yours. So that will be the straight down the front of the quads, okay? So we're going to do the exact same now, but instead of your feet being straight, you're going to turn them inwards. So when you turn your feet inwards, let me just show you. So feet like this, turn them inwards. It's now going to expose slightly to the outside of my legs, okay? And that is the next one. So let me just go sideways on a little bit for you, so you get a better angle. So you see here, look at my feet. They're nice and straight, okay? I'm going to turn them in. So is that like pigeon-toed, where your feet are pointing inwards, okay? And so you're going to feel this a bit more to the outside of the quad, okay? And again, we're doing both at the same time here. So both legs at once. So again, you'll probably spend, you know, 1 to 3 minutes on each position, maybe longer if you are a bit more tired and stiff. You know, if you're getting used to it, it might take you the whole hour to do the whole legs when you first start, but once you get used to it, you know, and you improve the sort of ability of your body to recover, you should find you're getting through it a bit quicker, and you might not necessarily do every single muscle every single time as well. So that is that one. Next one, you're going to get your feet, turn them outwards, okay? So again, just the same, try and keep the quads relaxed, but just turn the feet outwards. So you've got a couple of big muscles in the quads, and each one is just focusing on a different area of the quads, okay? So it just puts a bit more stress on a different muscle, or a different part of the muscle, sorry. Okay? Like when people say cycling and running uses different muscles, it doesn't use different muscles, you're using all the leg muscles in each one, but the stress is just slightly different. That's what they probably mean. So there's a bit more stress on some muscles rather than others, and not, you know, different muscles being used necessarily. Different you know, different focuses, if you like. Okay, so that would be the inside. So what you can do for these, for both of these, you can now change to doing one leg at once. So let's say, for example, you just found that this leg here, your right, my left, was a bit more tight than this one. Okay, so you can do the inside or the outside of the quad with just one at once. So like what we did, we stacked the leg on top of each other, similar if you've done the lower leg. We did that with the calves. So what I'm going to do is go into a bit more of a side plank position here. So see, this leg here is nowhere near the mat, okay, it's not on the roller. So I'm not completely on my side yet, that's a different movement, but I'm going back to this position here. So that's effectively my feet turned inwards again. I'll just put this leg on top, okay, and now I can just slide like so. Yeah, and then get more pressure on there, okay. So with foam rolling, you've got to put a bit of effort in to get the right positions, but it is worth it when it keeps you, from getting injured as much, hopefully, like it has done for me. So what we're going to do now, we've done front of the leg, we've done slightly to the outside, slightly to the inside. We're now going to do right to the outside, okay? So a lot of people, for this one, they call it the IT band, okay? So you do have your IT band, which is your iliothopial band here, but we're not really aiming for that, we're aiming for the muscle that's next to it, okay? And then we're also going to do the muscle at the top of the hip, but the actual band itself, you're probably not going to do a great deal to that. It's more the muscles that are around it that you're aiming for, okay? And if you are getting one of these that's coming up every single week, perhaps every time you foam roll this is more tight on one side, you do need to figure out what's causing it, okay? This will relieve it temporarily, but like I say, you need to fix it in the long term as well. So, let me think, the best way for me to demonstrate, so I go on this side, you're going to go into a side plank position, okay? Excuse me. So, I'm going to put I'll start like this, okay, so on my left elbow, and my legs are just stacked on top of each other, my hips are vertical that way, okay? And my feet are together. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the top leg and I'm going to put it in front of the body, okay? I'm just going to use this to push myself up and down, okay? So I'm just going to lift myself onto the elbow, okay, and then move this underneath that lower leg. So the leg that's down here is going to stay totally straight and relaxed, okay? So I don't want it tense, and I want it to see the foot on that leg dragging on the floor, okay? So not stuck up in the air, just dragging on the floor, so it's totally relaxed. Yeah, just nice and floppy. This leg on top is in front of you, and you're just using that to push against as you slide up and down just here, okay? So nice and slowly, nice and gently, like so. So if you're doing your left leg, your left elbow needs to be on the floor. This right one, just put it on the floor for balance, really. You don't need to be doing anything too much with it. And this right leg here is just for me to push off, okay? Right, so you do the same on the other side. I'll quickly demonstrate that, but it's the same thing, just the other way around, okay? So we're going to go into the side plank. Yeah, feet on top of each other, right elbow down. Going to put the roller underneath the bottom leg. Top leg, going to bring it in front of the body and just use that to push against, okay? So remember, bottom leg, the one you're rolling, is straight, it's relaxed, and it's just dragging on the floor, okay? And we're aiming to get like right on the side of the trousers. If you've got a seam on the side, it's usually what you're aiming for there, or if you're wearing striped trousers, like the tracksuit pants, there's probably a little line down there, aim for that. All else fails, it's the side of your leg. Okay, so just like that. Right then. So we are going to go next to the top of the hip, okay? So we're going to follow your quads up, okay? We get to your glutes. So your glutes, the big muscle, should be the most powerful muscle in the body, and they should be doing most of the work when you're running. So if you sat at a desk all day, if you sat down driving a lot, just generally sat down a lot, or if your posture's not great, your glutes might not be doing as much of the work as they should. So it's really important to do actual glute exercises to activate them and to make sure they're working. But for now, this is just to release the tension in them, okay? So what we're basically going to do first is sit ourselves on the roller, okay? Which I will show you. And you notice I have missed out the hamstrings so far. We are going to go and do them, don't worry, I've not forgot. But we'll do those next, okay? So I'm going to put the roller just on the floor behind me. Excuse me. And I'm going to sit myself up on top of the roller, okay? So I'm sat on top. And I'm going to do this glute first, okay? So it's my right glute, which means I'm going to put my right hand behind me. Okay, so right glute, right hand behind me. And the glute that I'm doing, so the right glute, I need to bring the same leg up on top of the other leg, okay? So just like this, and I'm just going to lean onto that right hand side, yep. I'm just going to slowly move around there. So if you look for like a piriformis foam rolling movement, this is what you'll find. And this is what we're doing, okay? So it's top of the hip, and the glutes, like I say, really powerful muscle, should be helping you with your running. The little bit you can feel in there, if there's a little tender spot, so that's just a little muscle that connects the top of your leg, so the upper leg bone, which is your femur, it just connects it into the hip there and controls the rotation. So if you've got a foot that's turning inwards perhaps, or if you're overpronating a little bit maybe, or if your foot's turning outwards, then you might find this quite tender, okay? And this one, there isn't a way to do both at the same time. So just bear in mind this one, whatever you can feel on the right, compare it with the left, okay? You might have just both of them that are really sore to start with. If that's the case, just have to work through it. Let me just show you the other side. So if I just show you sort of straight on, okay, I'm doing my left glute, so my left hand goes on the floor behind me. The left glute means I bring the left leg on top and I lean to the left, okay? And again, I'm just rolling up and down just like so. You'll spend a bit longer than me. I'm just going to talk you through it, let you get on with it. And otherwise it's going to be a half-hour video. So just to show you all, you know, the different positions, and you can pause as you like if you want to do a bit more. You know, it doesn't take long to learn the movements. I think after about a week I could remember all the movements. For doing it daily when I first started doing foam rolling, and you know, beyond that I just remember them now and know what they're doing, so it's not too bad, you know. But at first it might take you, you know, 45 minutes to an hour to do all your legs. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go to the top of your hip. So like we were doing the side of the leg, we're now going to go just above the hip. So let me just show you sort of sideways on. So you've got your hips here, yeah, there's the bone you'll be able to feel. If you have a big prod around in there, there's a good bone in there. And what you're basically going to aim for is just to the back and just below. Okay? So if you had a back pocket, it's in front of that, but it's not quite if you had a front pocket. So if you're wearing a pair of jeans, you put your hands in the front pockets, it's not there, it's further back. Okay? And it's not your back pockets, it's further forward, it's somewhere in between. So you've got your waistband here. You know, you feel like the crest of your hip, the big bone in there, your pelvis, and you're aiming for there, okay? So, let's grab a drink quickly. Yum yum. Right, so it's going to look a lot like the side plank position, okay? And I'm just leaning, so the roller is right at the top of the leg into the back of the hip, okay? So you notice now my chest's facing straight forwards. I'm just going to rotate slightly, so my chest's now looking slightly towards the ceiling, not completely. I'm not, you know, on my back or anything, just slightly towards the ceiling, okay? Bottom leg completely straight, just floppy. Just make sure there's no kettlebells in the way for you to bang your feet on. Other leg just going to be nice and bent, and you can use that to push yourself along, okay? So I'm just rolling in the top of the hip there. And you've just got to really make sure this lower leg's relaxed, because if it's tense, you're not going to be able to release anything, you know. You're just going to be rolling away on a tight muscle. So like when you go to a massage, you need to make sure the muscle is relaxed. Okay? So the other side is just the same. Let me just show you where you're rolling. So it's not right on the side of the hip, and it's not right on the back, it's just in between, okay? Just on there. If you have a feel around, it's like the top of the glute muscle. If you give yourself a good poke in there, you'll feel the sort of spot you're aiming for, okay? So, we are going to go on to, sorry, just before we do, that movement I just did on there, you can do it with a medicine ball. So if you're in the gym, those like basketball looking things that are solid and they're quite heavy, these are like 5 or 10 kilos. If it's a solid one, so you can't press your thumbs in it, then you can also use those. They're quite effective for that movement. If you have the choice, I'd use one of those. If not, just stick with your roller, it'll be absolutely fine. Cricket ball might work, but you might find it a bit difficult. You might keep sliding off, okay? So we're going to go on to the hamstrings now. So finishing off on those, I don't think I forgot anything. So hamstrings, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to do it with the foam roller, but for me personally, I just don't feel anything. It just doesn't do a lot for me, okay? So I'll show you it, and then I'll show you what I do instead. So for a beginner, you might use this one first, and then you might progress quite quickly. So we're going to have both legs straight, okay? On top of the roller, so here's my knees, there's a fold of my knee. I'm doing from the knee to the bum basically. Yep, hands on the floor, push myself up and just rolling along like so. So that would be the first version. So if you're having sort of really tight hamstrings, then you might find that is tender. But for me personally, I've never felt that was effective for anything, just even when I first started, okay? So it's a bit like the calf one, but you're on the upper leg, not the lower leg. Okay, so to progress it, so number 2, second progression, will be to stack the legs on top of each other. So you're now doing one hamstring at a time, and I can feel my hamstring